Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our braids one step further from what we learned last week. Now I hope you guys have mastered that first one, those first couple of braids from last week's video, because we're gonna take it one step further today. Today we're gonna learn about two new braids. So the first one is called a French braid, and the second one is called a Dutch braid. So it's important to know how to do these two braids, because you will be able to incorporate these into the updos and hairstyles that we will learn about later. And these braids are great as well, even just to wear them simply by themselves. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing we want to do is make sure that your hair is detangled, it's brushed through, and you are ready to start. Okay, so we're just gonna grab a nice section from the top here. And you can start at any place in the head. I'm just choosing over here. I feel like this is a nice area to begin in. But you can start your section smaller, or you can go a little bit lower, just depending on where you want that braid to begin. So this is gonna venture off of our 3-strand braid. That was the first braid that we learned in the last video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start this braid just like what we did with our 3-strand braid. So you're gonna have 3 strands, just like this, and you're gonna go outside over the middle. Now you've got the outside as the middle part, and you're gonna go outside over the middle. Looks familiar, right? So this is the beginning of our 3-strand braid. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, instead of going outside middle again to continue our pattern, we're gonna grab all the way at the end, just a nice little section here. You can see I still have my section that I had in my hands, and now I'm just grabbed from all the way at the ends of the hair, and I'm gonna bring that over the middle. So it's exactly like the 3-strand braid. We are just adding a section of hair here. All right, make sure and always keep your braids nice and tight. That's gonna be important to have a nice, clean hairstyle. All right, so now we're gonna continue our French braid. So we're gonna grab a section from the outside, and we're just gonna add that to our piece that we already had, and we're gonna bring that over the middle, like so. Perfect, all right. And now we just keep going until we're all the way at the end of the head. So we have our section on the outside. We're gonna grab here, and we're gonna bring that section all the way over, making sure that it's nice and clean. Sometimes you have to comb through this to make sure it lays really nice. Always maintaining the tightness. All right, we're gonna grab a section. And then always make sure your hair is combed through and untangled. My doll here is a little bit tangly, but I think we'll make it work. Okay, grab another section. And if this is too much hair for you to handle, there is another way to do this. So what we're gonna do is you can first cross this one over, just like you would a regular 3-strand braid, and then you could add the section if you feel like that makes it a little bit easier for your hands to handle. And you can see it does the same exact effect. It just might be a little bit simpler for you. For me, I just prefer to grab it and hold my section as I do. It just makes it a little bit faster for me. All right, and we're just gonna keep going. Remember, always keep your hands to the head. If you all of a sudden feel like your hands are going out here instead to the head, your braid is gonna be very loose, and it might not last as long throughout the day. So you just follow the curvature of the head. And you can see all I'm doing is I'm doing outside, grabbing the piece, and crossing it over the middle. Outside, still following the curvature of the head, over the middle. All right. almost there, and then I'll show you what you do whenever you run out of hair. All right, so I'm gonna bring her up just a little bit. There we go. I'm sure she's nice and comfortable sitting right up there. Now what we're gonna do is we are just back to our 3-strand braid. Making it nice and tight. And we are just gonna keep going with our outside over the middle, outside over the middle. And her head is falling a little bit, but that's okay. We're almost done. She's a little impatient today. Outside over the middle, outside over the middle. Almost there. All right, perfect. Now we have a beautiful French braid. So I'm just gonna hold this here and I'm gonna hold this here and I'm gonna get an elastic band. And you can get these elastic bands just anywhere. I've just gotten them from Walmart and they work great. All right, just to finish that braid off. All right, so you can see we have a beautiful French braid. So I'm not sure why they call it a French braid. That is just the technical term for it. But you can see it is basically a 3-strand braid, just like what we learned. But all we did was we added pieces from the side here. And what that did is it caused it to kind of be inside of the hairstyle instead of just laying out like it is towards the bottom. So just always keep in mind to keep your hands nice and tight, and that'll create a nice French braid that you can wear while doing errands. Maybe you got a sporting event to go to and you just really want your hair out of your face. This is a great hairstyle for that as well. And later on, we will learn different videos on how to incorporate these French braids in unique ways. All right, guys. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the second braid of this video. So this one is called the Dutch braid. Now, if you remember from the previous video, I showed you a braid that was called the inside out braid. This one was very similar to the 3-strand braid. The only difference was instead of moving our strands over the middle, we did underneath the middle. All right, so this is very important whenever we are creating this Dutch braid because it's gonna make that braid just pop out because we're pushing that braid out of the hair instead of going over and bringing it inside of the hairstyle. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So make sure that your hair is nice and combed through, no tangles. It's just gonna make it so much easier to do this hairstyle or any braiding hairstyle for that matter. Okay, so we're just gonna make sure and get a nice section just on the top of the head. All right, so you can see right here, we just got a nice section. And then just bring it all, comb it all back. There's no parting to this hairstyle, it's just all combed back. Unless you want a parting, you can do that too. But a classic Dutch braid, there isn't a parting. All right, so we're gonna grab 3 sections here. All right, look familiar? We're gonna do the same thing as our regular inside out braid. We've got 3 strands, here's the middle strand, and we're gonna bring the outside and bring it underneath the middle strand. All right, so that was one time that we did this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the other outside and we're gonna bring that underneath the middle strand. All right, so that was twice. So now the third time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab from here, from the outside, just like what we did with the French braid, but instead of going over, you're gonna bring it under the middle, okay? You see that? It's going under the middle. Right here, that's where my outside piece was. All right, make sure you keep it nice and tight. Here's our outside piece. It's traveled all the way to the left side. And we're gonna bring this piece underneath the middle. All right, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna go just a little bit further. And if you need me to slow down, just pause this video and play it over and over until you understand this concept. All we're doing is we're taking the outside section, grabbing a piece, a loose piece from the side here, and we're bringing it underneath the middle parting. All right, we're gonna bring her head up just a little bit so you can see. And now you can see this braid is forming. It is being pushed out of the hairstyle instead of being pushed in like our French braid was. The Dutch braid is actually one of my personal favorites. I don't know why, it's just so beautiful and delicate, the way that it just creates some movement in the hair and it just creates a nice statement. Now remember to always keep it nice and tight to the head, or else you're going to have a very loose braid and we don't want that. Okay, so this is our last piece, bringing that to the underneath. And now we just have our inside out braid to do because we don't have any more hair left on the sides here. All right, outside, underneath, outside, underneath. So you could just call this the opposite French braid. We're doing things opposite. And we're just going to continue all the way until we cannot cross under anymore. All right, and then I'm just going to finish that off with just a clear elastic band on the bottom. And you can end this piece wherever you want. If you feel like just doing a Dutch braid ponytail, or if you just feel like leaving a little extra hair, maybe you want to curl this piece on the bottom. That would be really cute too. But this is the classic Dutch braid. Some people even call this the inside out braid. Whatever you want to call it. And here I'm just loosening up these pieces just to make it pop even more. This terminology is called pancaking. Like a pancake, it lays nice and flat. That's what we're doing with this braid. We are making it lay more flat. You can see it's just making it pop out really nicely. I always just like to make sure it's nice and even on both sides. All right, so that is what we call a Dutch braid. So just like the French braid, we are going to be using this technique of going underneath the middle section and just grabbing a section. And we're going to incorporate that into different updos as well. It's amazing what all you can do with just simple braids like this when creating diversity of hairstyles. So I'm so excited to show you maybe in the next couple of videos of different ways that we can incorporate these two very simple braids, and also the fishtail that we did learn last week as well. It is just awesome how creative you can be with hair. So I'm just so excited to show you guys in the future videos to come.